he told me he's sin. And he said that he had a man once that was going to coming in, and he was going to do $400,000 or $500,000 worth of work at his church, contractor. And he showed up 20 minutes late. And so when he walked in, he told him, I don't need your service. And the man said, well, I got caught in the traffic. So he looked on his side, there was a big cell phone. He said, you didn't call me. He said, if you're going to be late to come to get a job like this, what are you going to do if you get the job? So I don't need you. Now, he was a stinker on that. He said that because God's time should not be no different than anybody else's time. He said, anybody that take God for granted, what are they going to take you for? I mean, if you take God for granted, he said, what are you going to take them for? So I was reading, just coincidental this morning, I was reading the newspaper, and I was looking at the cartoon, and a lady was 10 minutes late. And a man said to her, you're 10 minutes late. I'm sorry. You're going to have to make your appointment over again. So I have another person waiting. No, I have another appointment at 10 o'clock. And the lady said, I'm only 10 minutes late. And he said, ask the next person to come in. They 10 minutes late now, it's 10 after 10. So y'all go and talk it over. So, do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if somebody become that rigid, there's a lot of folk, I will leave church. But will it be hurting themselves or God? Will it be hurting themselves or God? Because somewhere down the line, you have to understand discipline. And this is what Paul is teaching them. Wait patient for Christ. How to follow command. How to learn to obey those that have the ruler over you. Because if you don't, in the military, and I don't know, I was never in there, but Elder William, could you come in, be late, anything like that?
You got a court martial, OWL, you're over the hill.
You're over the hill. For 10 minutes?
Don't make no difference.
Oh.
That time is important.
Okay. All right. Maybe you teach that one day. And verse number 5. And the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God and into the patient waiting for Christ. That God will direct your heart. That God will direct your heart into the patient. Now, so what we have to understand then, patient is abiding under pressure. Yeah. Abiding under pressure. That means remaining the same. So if you learn and you love God, then you will do all you can do to be on time. What do you think God would really do if all the members of Great Open Door that comes to the 8 o'clock service would be here on time? They all couldn't get in. It would be a beautiful service, start prayer together. What would happen after 11:30? What would happen in the 6:30? What would happen to the people that have lost out of their mind that we have a midweek service? They've lost it out of their mind. It don't even faze them. What would happen if the folks would think about that Sunday school is for everybody?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
What would they think if Sunday school is for everybody? And why, the question is, why do they feel they are excluded? What if you had them to write that on the board 50 times? Why I don't come to Sunday school? Service. Wait a minute, this is what he's saying here. He says, this is the whole thing, wait patiently for Christ. So, and the Lord direct your hearts into the love of Christ and into the patient waiting for Christ. Now, I guarantee you, if you wanted to see in every church here in the city of Long Beach and Los Angeles, anywhere in the United States, if there went out a decree from God, and God says, in the morning, I'm coming back. Jesus is going to hit the cloud in the morning. I guarantee you, you couldn't get in no church, nowhere in the world. I guarantee you, folks that have never been to church will be at church. Amen. But do you all understand that's where we are? Yes. That is where we are. Now, one of the things that I'm seeing this year is that a lot of our pillows are going home. Yes, sir. And then a lot of young folks are going home. Yes. Wherever it is, they're getting killed. point blank killing each other. While we are in the church praying, they are point blank being killed. And I'm not talking about folks that don't know God. I'm talking about the mom, grandmother, and some fathers are in the church, and they are point blank being killed. They are gravitating to gangs. Don't know what they're doing, but they're gravitating to gain. I just did a funeral 3 weeks ago where a young man was shot point blank in the head, 18 years old. And 2 weeks later, they killed another one of the grandmother's kids. Now, I remember years ago, I was in court and with this lady and her son. And she got up and said, the police just killing all our children. No, I was at a funeral. She said, the police is just killing all our children. And after service, I did the funerals right here. I said, the police didn't kill that boy. It was another black boy that killed him. Police not killing all our children. Blacks are killing blacks, and Mexican and blacks are the one doing this fighting and killing each other. Police not killing up folks. Every now and then some is being killed. But we don't really pick it half as much when another black or Hispanic gets killed, or black is killed by a Hispanic, or Hispanic killed by a black, as we do if the police officer killed one. That ain't right. It's certainly not right. But our folks are killing more of our children than anybody. I don't believe, I may be wrong, because we're waiting on the patient, but I don't believe that most of you in here are afraid of police officers, or you are, as you are, to go into certain communities by yourself at night. Okay. And I mean, I'm talking about going among the folk that look like you. You're not going to go in that community by yourself, or even with somebody. But we say, and we put a lot of things, but we need the police officers. But do we need the gangs? What are the gangs doing to help in our community other than marking and writing on walls, selling drugs? Matter of fact, they showed on the news a few days ago last week that I believe it was in Virginia, where that the Crips was there making prostitutes out of young girls, forcing them into prostitution. Did anybody see that? Forcing them into prostitution. And they put them in prison. Now think about, you see, this is where you can be had. And I'm coming back to the message. This is where you can be had. They letting out the drug offenders. Now, see, you don't listen, and see, you don't follow the things that, and look at what God is showing you. They letting them out to put them into houses. The other folks are buying up the apartments in here doing a foreclosure so that they can house them in our community. They won't live in the community, but they're going to house them because they'll get about $2,000 a month for keeping them and allegedly rehabilitating them. But what the system is doing, and what they're doing is that they're not giving them no money to make it or no jobs. So they know if you don't get jobs. I stood a few months ago downtown Long Beach in the office with the chief, and I said to them, you have to know, and every officer has to know, and the government know, if you let folks out of prison and they got a felony and they can't get a job and nobody would hire them, they're going to go back. And this time they don't go back for drugs. They go back for stealing a murder. And then they can keep them longer. You're being had and don't know it. That's what it is. You're going to go back for murder. And then they're going to keep you for life. Because they're not giving you a job. And you won't go to school. And you don't have enough sense to stay off the street. You're hanging out on the street and running here and there. And they're going to catch you. They're going to get you. They already, matter of fact, they got you already tagged anyway. You're marked. You can't vote with a felon, and you can't vote. That cuts you out of the system of making decisions. You can't get hardly a job.
All right then.
And so we got to learn that there's some things that we got to go back to teaching. Now, the military don't want you if you got a felony. You can't go to the Army. You can't go to Job Corps. You can't get hardly any jobs. So it's almost like you're tagged to fail. You're tagged to fail. And so what are you going to do? And the devil is got you think that you're really something when you're nothing. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly and not after the tradition which he received of us. Now, I want you to think about something, because I hear this a lot. I hear this a lot, but I want you to think about something here. He said, withdraw yourself from every brother that don't walk in the tradition. Now, this is one thing that we hear people say, well, this is tradition. A lot of young folks, well, that's the old folk, it's tradition. Paul said if they don't walk in the tradition that they saw us in, and tradition is hand-me down. That means that we are set some examples, and this is what you follow. Don't try to come up with something new, because this is what's destroying Christianity in our community, in every state and city. When people are coming up, say, we don't need to do this now. This is the old fogey. It didn't do it. But look, it brought us this far. Do you understand if it kept a person alive for 80 years or 90 years, and some of them couldn't read and couldn't write, and here you are can read and write and got computers and phone, and you can't get a job.
All right then. Yes.
And then you're going to talk about some old fogey. I mean that your mind is frozen. It is. There's something wrong. Think about that. They got enough to take care of you. They was able to feed you, able to clothe you. What do you have? Or what would you have if they had not did what they did to do it? And so Paul, this is why I want y'all to understand when you read the Bible. Don't just read it from a humanistic perspective, but read it and see what God is saying to the church. It said, now we command you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye withdraw yourself from every brother that continue to walk disorderly and not after the traditions which we received of us.